All right, everybody, we are on the Mark Hoke Show, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am, even though it is very early in the morning for me anyway. Uh, but we have with us in the house, Vegas girl made it good over here. Very excited. Kendal Grey from NXT on the Mark Hoke Show. Kendall, how are you doing this morning?
For having me.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So, everybody knows about your background here in Las Vegas. Great amateur wrestler, made it to states for the boys. I wrestled in high school too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. And I know I don't look it anymore, but I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Got in there with the boys. Tell everybody a little bit about that if they don't remember the story.
Yeah. So growing up, like my whole family kind of bonded through like sports. And I started like MMA at like 11 years old. And when I got to high school, my dad was like, "Oh, you should try out for the guys wrestling team." And I was like, "Oh no, you're kidding, right?" Like I didn't think he was being serious because I didn't even think that was like that could happen. And he's like, "No, I'm being serious." And then I tried out first day and kind of just took off from there.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I do remember a few girls wrestling in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So, it can be done.
Yeah.
If you need to. So
Yeah, and it's honestly super cool because, when I was in high school, there wasn't a lot of females wrestling in the state of Nevada, or in Las Vegas in general. And then now coming back to Las Vegas and seeing that they have their own women teams in high school, they have their own women's state tournament. So it's really cool to see how far like the sport has grown and evolved. So it's really cool to see that.
Do you still follow it a lot? Because we just had the first official NCAA women's championship this year.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, I still watch it. It's super cool. Like even when I graduated high school, like going to college, like NCAA wasn't even an opportunity for me. So it's cool to see like younger generations have that opportunity and just see how far and big this sport is growing.
Yeah, and I'm a Penn State guy, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the last 10 or 12 years.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, you, of course, wrestled for Team USA, and that's where you kind of caught WWE's eye and got in the NIL program with them. Was that a easy decision for you to make to say, you know what, I'm good, let's do it?
I think so I still had like 2 years of eligibility left in college. So when it came down to it, when I had this opportunity with WWE and I had, opportunity to still wrestle and continue to wrestle, try to make an Olympic team eventually, I just kind of weighed out the pros and cons. And it definitely was a hard decision because I've been wrestling for as long as I could remember. And like thinking of starting something fresh and something new is scary. So I just weighed out the pros and cons. And then, I'm happy with the decision I made. I am so happy here and I'm so excited to be doing what I'm doing and I love it. So I couldn't be, any more grateful for the opportunity.
The transition from amateur wrestling to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Now there are obviously some commonalities in there, but what was that like? Did you have to make changes in things that you did in an amateur match as opposed to now you're doing pro wrestling, which is a totally different ballgame?
Yeah. There's definitely like differences. I would say like I was so used to like the physical part of amateur wrestling, and I think that translates really well over here. And then just having like your body awareness and moving your body, that transfers over really well too. I think the main thing was, growing up, I was a very shy kid, and in amateur wrestling, you don't really have to like speak that much. You don't have to like, entertain. You just you're laser focused. You go out there and you just like try to win, and that's kind of what it was. And also coming from like a NAIA school, a smaller school for women's wrestling, you don't get interviewed that much. You don't really have like press. You don't have, all that. You don't have those skills. So coming here, the biggest thing for me was getting out of my comfort zone, showing my personality, talking. Those were like the biggest challenges for me. And obviously I'm still getting better and like working on those things. But I would say that was the biggest, challenge for me.
And we're on the Mark Hoke Show with Kendal Grey from NXT. And there have been, and I don't know if it's really fair to do this to you, but there have been comparisons to Kurt Angle. We've heard that Bully Ray has said that you are the future of women's pro wrestling. I don't know if you heard the statements that he made or not. And a lot of people feel that way. Dave Meltzer said she should be up on the main roster. There's no reason for her to be there. Does that excite you, bother you, or both?
Well, as far as like the main roster stuff, I think like everything is timing. I know that I have so much to grow and so much to learn here in NXT. So I feel like everything will happen when it's supposed to happen. So I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. Like I have so much to learn. I literally just started 2.5 years ago. Like the first day I walked in was like about 2.5 years ago. So I know I have so much to grow. When it comes to like getting compared to Kurt Angle, I think, I love Kurt Angle. I think he's awesome. I love his story. So I think that's like a super cool comparison. Obviously, I don't have a gold medal at the Olympics. I'm not as big as him. I'm not as strong as him. So, I mean, there is differences there. But it's really cool. And like, I think one of the main things that I have a goal for myself is to bring the women's division to a next level with like the amateur wrestling style and like bringing different technicality and intensity to it. So I don't know, I'm get excited, but I'm also very humble and I don't really let the noise get to my head too much,
Well, one thing that's really interesting in NXT right now is just the amount of talent on the women's side that is down
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
And there's in a couple of years, this group that you're with could be almost completely taking over on the main rosters.
Mhm.
Do all of you discuss that? Do you think about it at all and say, wow, we could all end up doing this together?
Um, yeah, I mean, every woman here brings something else to the table, and there is so much talent, like you said, like literally so much talent. I feel like we're all constantly working hard and training hard, but sometimes when you do that every day, you don't think about like the bigger picture, like you said. So sometimes I guess, we're just trying to get to the next best thing and like keep working hard and keep getting opportunities. So I feel like, it is cool. Like I have like a group of friends that we talk about, like, that'd be so awesome. But I think most of us just try to stay present and just, be in the moment and just enjoy what we have right now.
Now, one thing that I see when I watch you wrestle, and I think the best word that I've used to describe you is smooth. I mean, it we all know it's not effortless, but
Mhm.
you make it look effortless. How do you do that? I mean, it's amazing. It just, wrestling for 2.5 years.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's so hard when you watch yourself, like you don't see sometimes what other people see. But I would say like growing up, like I just did so many sports. Like I started with gymnastics and I did t-ball and then I did soccer and then I did figure skating and then I wrestled and then I did jiu-jitsu and judo and it goes on and on and on. And I feel like especially starting like MMA and wrestling, that like footwork was so important
Mhm.
and you had to have fast feet all the time. Like in wrestling, we did footwork drills and like, so I just feel like a lot of that does, play a part in that. But I do like to be very smooth. And I think for me, like, especially being like a little bit smaller size, I use that footwork and that speed and that smoothness to my advantage.
It all comes down to the footwork. Every sport. I wrestled and I ended up coaching volleyball, for 20 years, believe it or not.
That's awesome.
But it does. It's it's the feet carry everything from there. So
Slow
yeah.
feet don't eat.
That's good. I like that. I gotta steal that one. You've been teaming with Ren Sinclair
Mhm.
for a long time now. What's
Yeah.
that partnership like?
I mean, Ren is awesome, and she's been doing this way longer than I have, so it's really cool to have her and, be able to go to her for questions, and I just think our, like, personalities and our dynamic is so fun. She's really helped me get out of my shell and, like, really show my goofy side, so, I love being with her, and I think she's amazing at what she does, so it's really cool to be teamed up with her.
Well, just recently you guys took care of Fatal Influence and then you got to wrestle for the NXT championship at Stand
Mm.
and Deliver. What an honor that is.
Yeah.
Um, how'd you feel when you knew the opportunity was going to come, that you were going to be in that match at Stand and Deliver? How awesome was that?
Honestly, it was like a full circle moment. It was so cool because I remember last year, I was about a year in and I heard that Stand and Deliver was going to be in Las Vegas. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go my hometown. And I remember asking at that time, and I was like, honestly crazy to even ask. But I was like, like, what are the odds about me being on Stand and Deliver? And like I said, I was like a year and a half in, a year in, and they were like, they kind of looked at me crazy and was like 1%. And I was like, oh, okay. So that now this year being on Stand and Deliver, going for the NXT Women's Championship, it's just, it's just so cool. And like knowing that my hard work has paid off, and it's, I'm obviously working hard always, but it's starting to pay off, and having these opportunities are just, it's so cool. It's awesome. I enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah. And, the future is very bright for you. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years? What are some of the aspirations that you have?
Couple years? Honestly, whether I'm in NXT a couple years from now, whether I'm on Raw, whether I'm on SmackDown, I want to make like a difference. And that's, the main thing I want to do. I want to impact other people's lives. I want to make a difference in the women's division. I want to bring it to a next level. And I think that would probably be like my main goal. I just want to change the division and, change people's life and get people watching and get people invested and, make them feel something.
Yeah. And we're once again on the Mark Hoke Show with NXT's Kendal Grey. And now there was a spot that happened in the last show with Sol Ruca that with the double tables, and she nearly missed. I'm curious to hear what your feelings about that and what the roster was thinking when they saw that in kind of the aftermath.
Honestly, we all back there, we were all watching. We were like speechless. Like we were just like mouth wide open, speechless. Like we didn't know how to react in that moment. And then when she came back, she's awesome. She's amazing at what she does. She comes back, she has a towel on her head, and she's like, heck yeah. Like, like she's smiling, and, she's awesome, but like definitely a scary moment for all of us, and just like concerned for her. And like, obviously that could be really, really bad. And it was bad, but it could always be worse. So knowing that she came back with like a positive mind and like smiling and stuff was a good reassuring moment, because all of us definitely were scared.
Well, between her and Braun Breaker, you guys gonna have to start wearing helmets.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. So now coming up, what's immediately going to be happening on NXT with Kendal Grey?
Honestly, I have no idea. I can't really tell you. But the last 2 weeks I've had a chance to like sit down and really tell like the WWE universe a little bit more about me, which was really cool. And there's so much more about me that I want to, tell, and I'm excited down the road to be able to tell those things. But I still have my eye on the NXT Women's Championship. I think, Lola and I had a match before Stand and Deliver. Obviously the finish was a little wonky, and then the Stand and Deliver was a triple threat. So obviously I would love to get another opportunity against Lola Vice, but I know like I still have a lot of work to be done. And I'm patient. Like I'm not in a rush. I know my time will come when it's supposed to come. So right now I'm just going to keep working hard, keep training hard, come in trying to get better every day. And whatever comes my way, I'm going to, make the most out of that,
Now, before I let you go, you mentioned everything happening in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to wrestle at WWE World here in your hometown against Ivy Nile.
Mm-hmm.
How cool was that for you? I mean, I can only imagine what that meant to you to have so many people. Did you have a lot of people turn out?
We had a good like crowd there for sure. Yeah, we had some people, and then I had like some family, like my dad, my brother, some cousins of mine come, and some of my dad's friends. So it was really fun. It was a great opportunity. Going back to Vegas is, it's awesome. I want to go back more, hopefully in the future. But also having that opportunity with Ivy Nile, someone that has so much experience, is also very cool and like was awesome for me. And she's also having that same kind of background in a way, like the, MMA type background. So it's just like really cool for us to get in the ring and have our dynamic and see where it goes.
You know what? You should do Bloodsport if it comes back. If we talk to Josh Barnett, that would be fun. I think it'd be awesome on that.
Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, I don't know if that is in my future, but like I'm not opposed. I mean, I would definitely do it. I think it's awesome. Natty just had a match with Shayna Baszler on there, and that was awesome. So if that opportunity comes my way, like obviously I would be down. I'm down for anything.
Dream opponent.
In general?
Yeah. If you're in, let's say you're in the main event of WrestleMania, who's standing across from you? Who would you like to see there?
There's literally so many people I could say. I feel like it changes all the time. Not changes all the time, but there's just more people added to the list. If I had to name a few, can I name a few? Or
Sure, name a few.
Okay. A few would be Rhea Ripley for sure. I think Sol Ruca and I would love to have a singles match with her. We've had some tag matches against each other, but I would love to get in the ring with her, and I think we could do some really, really cool stuff. And then probably Roxanne Perez.
She's awesome, isn't she?
She is awesome. No,
she's awesome.
She's awesome, and we're both around the same age, so it's, I just think I don't know, she's awesome. She's great at what she does, so I think we could definitely put on a good match.
Well, I think a lot of people are expecting that some matches like that are going to happen, and probably sooner than later. You've been fantastic so far, Kendal. And Las Vegas is very proud of you. I know that.
Oh, thank you so much.
So we'll look forward to seeing you in the future on NXT on Tuesday nights and wherever the road takes you. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank Mark.